Hi, welcome back to yet another podcast. It has been more than a minute, and I missed you. And honestly, I kind of hope you missed me. Feed my ego a little bit. Over the last few months, I've been just a tad bit busy. Since we last spoke, I've gotten married and been adjusting to all of that. I've been traveling all over the world, genuinely. I just got back from Europe a few weeks ago, got hired to do some video work out there, which was pretty awesome, and kind of leads me into today's topic, choices. It's just really interesting how the choices that we make can lead us into all kinds of things, whether good or bad. Let's take a rewind real quick. So back in 2017, I decided to move to San Diego from Northern California in the Valley, specifically from Stockton, for those of you who know. Most people, I just say I'm from the Sacramento area because nobody knows who Stockton is unless you're like from over there. So Stockton for all the day ones, the 209 shout out. So I decided to move to San Diego for a job opportunity down here. And initially it went well, and then it did not go so well. And then we fast forward slightly. There's a lot of trauma and things that happened in there, but another time. Fast forward to 2020. There's this rumor of this virus that's going to shut down the world. And at the same time, I'm being pushed out of the apartment that I live in, and I am forced to pack up my bags and move back home. Now, to me, I moved out of the house when I was 18. I'm a fairly independent person. So to have to move back home felt like such a step in the wrong direction for me. It was really frustrating, but I literally didn't have anywhere I could go. I have friends and friends' family who would have taken me in, but I didn't want to put that on people, especially considering the looming virus that no one knew what was actually going on. At one point, I was told that, filling up my tank of gas, I would get the virus because it's on metal. It was just a wild time to live in. You lived it, I lived it, but we lived it and we survived it. We're here. Nonetheless, packed up my bags in the middle of the night, really dramatic. It felt like I was in a movie, and drove off into the night back home, called my sister and was like, hey, can I stay with you? Because I have nowhere to go. And my lovely sister, shout out to her, was like, yes, you can totally live with me. I will give you shelter from the world ending. So I moved back home, and I think that at that point in time, my mind was not in the best headspace. I was like neck deep in depression on top of what was going on with the world. So now the inability to really go outside and do anything or to connect with my friends that I had from when I lived there previously really put me into a rut, to say the least. So as the government paid me money, shout out to them just for existing. That was the one cool thing, which I think we're probably seeing the consequences of now with, taxes and all that. But again, another time. I stacked my money, paid off a lot of my debt, but I got the wild idea to go and order a GoPro off the internet. Because I was sort of into taking pictures, on my phone. I was the iPhone photographer that everybody makes fun of. I thought I was so cool, and I was taking the coolest pictures, and I was posting all these things that were really mysterious and all this stuff. And I just thought I was really cool with my iPhone pictures. And then I would edit them to look like they were film photos. And I turned that grain up a little bit too much. We've all been there. We've all turned the grain up a little too much. Nonetheless, I was a very unprofessional iPhone photographer who sometimes shot on film and just thought I was the coolest photographer that had the best eye ever. So I decided, you know what? I am going to try to make videos. I'm just going to go get a GoPro because that's the only camera that I could think of that I know about that can take video and high quality and be kind of cool. So order my GoPro. GoPro comes in again during lockdown. So at this time I was making a lot of music. I think that music was really helpful for me to process my emotions, because while I am an internal processor, some way, like me putting the pen to the paper, arranging music, recording it, re-listening to it, it really helps me flesh out what's going on inside and get it outside so that I can process it a little bit better. So I guess that would make me not necessarily an internal processor, and I'm contradicting myself, but I feel like if you know what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. You know, I'm a little quirky, if you will. But I was making a lot of music at that time, and so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make myself a music video for this song that I have that I think is really cool. So that's what I did. I took my iPhone and I took my GoPro and I started shooting video inside the house, in the backyard. And then at this time, the parks were closed, and I lived next to a park. And so I would go to the park at dusk and go shoot video of myself and just, mess around, try my best. I mean, we've all seen music videos. We know what angles we're supposed to do. And so I just tried to mimic that to the best of my ability. So I take that, film it all, open up my MacBook Air, go into iMovie and start arranging it. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of sick. I really like this. Now, would I show you this video today? No. The video is pretty horrendous, I will say. But at the time I was like, yo, I can have a concept in my mind. I can go and film it, and then I can arrange it in a way that I like it, and it comes out dope, and I could tell a story. And then something sparked in me. My love for editing sparked. My love for filming sparked. All based on getting this little GoPro and shooting it at 720 because I didn't know that I needed to have a specific SD card to shoot in 4K. Honestly, my MacBook Air probably couldn't have handled the 4K file anyway, so I was doing myself a favor. I probably would have given up if it didn't work. So anyway, I do that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm a videographer now. Oh my gosh, I can edit videos. So I leveraged that into helping out my parents with their church. So my parents are pastors, for those of you who don't know, at a little church in a small town in the valley. And so obviously they couldn't have Sunday services because they're trying to be safe and follow the guidelines. So they needed to figure out how to live stream their services. So I was like, I know how to do most of these things because it's fairly simple to live stream. But what if we also recorded the services, and then I added, the scriptures in at the end, and I did all these other things, and then we started posting it to YouTube so that those people who were not able to watch it live could watch it on YouTube. And my parents were like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. So shout out to them for giving me my first gig. So I got my little GoPro shooting a Sunday service. Audio is horrible because it's not running through the GoPro. I'm just picking up the room noise. Video is fine, but really not the best. I've got it on the wide angle. I didn't even know I should have shot it the other way. Nonetheless, we're editing, and we're doing this. And so I learned a lot in doing that. I was literally creating the captions in a separate graphic program and then importing them in rather than just using the tools available in Premiere, which, oh my gosh, I spent so much time doing that. And then one day I went on a tutorial and figured out that I could do it a lot different, and it saved me hours of time. But anyway, got my first gig off a GoPro. So then I'm like, okay, cool. The GoPro's cool, but I think I could step it up. So I purchased a camera for like $400. And the camera, it was like a Canon something. I know I should know all this, but It was a Canon something something. That's what we'll call it. And it was not designed for video. It was definitely designed for photo, but I used it for video, and then I started to figure out how to connect the audio, and then I started really, really getting it. And so from there, I was able to, sort out a lot more editing techniques, and then I started doing more video stuff for myself. And fast forward, and that really helped me to be able to truly be a video editor and videographer to a degree. I would say I'm a video editor first and a videographer second. Videography is not necessarily my passion. I enjoy doing it, but I love editing, which I know is so weird. So I fast forward, and I'm getting clients, and I'm getting little gigs and all these things, and I'm starting to build confidence. And so I decide, you know what? I'm doing all this video for all these other people, and I'm just kind of doing these little side projects for myself and not putting them out. Why not just go all out and start making videos for myself, put them up on the internet? If they're cool, they'll be cool. If they're real bad, the internet will let me know. So that's kind of how we got to where we are today in a very short sense. But I was hanging out at home, and I got this opportunity to be able to travel to Europe and take video for this event. So what the event is a bunch of ladies. I think there was like 8 of them, and they were going to Europe. For some of them, it was the first time. For others of them, they'd been, but it had been a really long time. But it was like a ladies' trip to really foster connection between the ladies and just kind of unlock, who they are in a different degree. I know for me personally, I feel like I unlock more parts of myself when I travel, because you get out of, the same scenery that you're around all the time. And so I was like, that's a really cool thing, and I know that works for me, so I would love to go and shoot that. And so I did. I got hired. My way was paid to go to Europe, and we ended up going to London, Paris, Florence, Venice, Rome, and then back to London, and then back home. And I got to experience all these awesome cultures, these different cities, these different countries that if you would have asked me when I bought the GoPro, hey, do you think that this purchase of a GoPro is going to get you to go to Europe, all expenses paid? I would have laughed in your face. I was horrendous. It's just so awesome. Like, I am awestruck that me making the decision to use my government money to go and buy a GoPro and just try something new and just follow my passion would lead me to such an incredible opportunity. I think that this is just the tip of the iceberg for me. I feel like there's so much more opportunity because I'm only 3 years into the game. So there's so much more for me to learn. I have not arrived by any means. I am continuously trying to learn more things and pick up information from people that are more experienced. But to think that $200 purchase led to this, it's so crazy to me. And I just wanted to kind of share this story just to encourage you to actually follow your passions. Follow your dreams. I know that sounds so cliche, so glass half full, all of these things, but really do it. You never know what's on the other end of a decision. When you say yes to one thing, you're saying yes to 1,000 other things. Your yes is so powerful. And so I just wanted to, take a moment just to chat and share that little anecdote and encourage you. What is the thing that you feel like you haven't said yes to yet? What is the passion that you've put on the back burner because you're like, I don't know. I know for me, when it comes to other creative projects, I tend to not put them out because when I put them out, then it's over. Then it's done. Then it can be judged. And I just don't think that that's what we were made to do. We're creative people, and creative people create things. It's part of who we are. Just because you have a great idea and you put it out doesn't mean another great idea is not going to come. I know that that's the fear for a lot of creative people, is like, dude, I have this sick idea. It's going to be awesome. And then you work on it for like 5 years and never put it out because you don't know if another great idea is going to come. Just realize it's a snowball effect. You just go from one great idea to the next great idea. And your next thing that you do is going to be your best thing. And with that mindset, you're just going to continue to grow and you're going to continue to thrive. And the creativity is only going to get deeper and deeper. I feel like the deeper that we go into our creativity, the deeper that we go into ourselves. Because that is what makes things creative. It's us. It's our fingerprints all over it. That's what makes it different from what anyone else in the entire planet can do. We could go out right now to your backyard and create a 2-minute video montage of your backyard, but it's going to be 0% the same because my eye is different than your eye. What you bring to the table is different. It doesn't mean that it's bad or good on either end. It's just different. It's your eye. And I think that the world deserves us to bring our creativity out, not just mimicking what we've seen. I think that when we start out, we definitely pay a lot of tribute to the things that inspire us, but we have to go deeper than that level to pull out ourselves and put ourselves into our creativity. That's what makes it vulnerable. That's what makes it honest. And I feel like that is what art is. That's the difference between, oh, that was kind of cool, and damn, that's art. So, that thing that you've been waiting to do, Nike that thing. Just do it. Make a decision today. Follow up that decision with another one and another one and see where it leads you. Because at the end of the day, it could lead you to incredible things. I hope that this added some tools to your tool belt, and I hope that you're encouraged by my story. I am so glad to be back in America and back into my flow. And I'm excited to make more videos and make more podcasts and all that jazz. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your support. I really hope that you have an incredible day, and I hope that you leave this audio journey inspired. I'll talk to you later.